Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bloomington Buddies, the show where we talk about all things sports, mostly college football, but we do dabble into other things. This is episode 6 or 7. I lost track. It's either 6 or 7, but please welcome, as always, best of the business, Bruce Jackson.
How's it going?
Today we will be talking about the MLB playoffs because there are some division series games and series that are getting out of hand. Very out of hand. It's definitely not what people have been expecting so far. I'm very disappointed in Baltimore. I thought they were going to go way further than they ended up going. They couldn't even make it past their original first round of the playoffs. It's Baltimore. It's Baltimore.
I was happy for them when I found out they were going to the playoffs, man. I mean, everybody was happy for them. They were kind of my favorites not my favorites, but like out of all the teams out of there, I really wanted Baltimore to see
If you're
success,
an Orioles fan, I wouldn't be too concerned about getting swept because
this season's a success.
This is an incredible success. This team is the 2015 Cubs. The 2015 Cubs just built up incredible farm after being dog shit for like 4 years in a row. They were like the worst team in the MLB, and they just built up an incredible farm, and they kind of overperformed with like a young core. And then the next year, they were the best team in baseball.
Is that what you're predicting?
Yes.
You think
this
Baltimore
Orioles team has built up an incredible young core. They still have the number one farm in baseball. They still have players coming up. I think next year the Orioles will be the best team in baseball. This is the precursor to some huge things to come next year for the Orioles.
The AL East is going to be scary next year if the Yankees can produce and if the Red Sox can get better.
The AL East went 0-7 in the playoffs.
0-7.
Didn't win a single game.
That was the undoubted silver lining of not making the playoffs this year, was that every single team that talked trash about the Yankees had said, oh, y'all ain't shit,
They all lost.
They all lost and got swept. The last time an AL East team won in the playoffs was last year in the ALDS when the Yankees beat the Cleveland Guardians to go on to the ALCS. So just pointing that fact out there.
But, okay, so the Rangers, though, they're hot. They're so hot right now. That's 5 in a row against the teams with the 2 best records in the AL East. And all on the last game was at home, but 4 games on the road, they sweep all of them, and then they take care of business at home in a game that wasn't even close, 7-1. Evan Carter is playing like the best player in baseball. This man is absolutely raking, taking hella walks to the plate. After playing 23 games in the regular season, rookie Evan Carter is absolutely going off for the Rangers.
He's insane. Insane.
Can I get playoff-specific stats? I can. Corey Seager's hitting .429 so far, 680 on base. Josh Jung has 8 hits. Mitch Gray, everyone's just hitting. Adolis Garcia's got 2 home runs. Jonah Heim is throwing people out. One of the big controversies was in the first game, the Orioles lost 3-2 to the Rangers. They had the tying run on first, and Gunnar Henderson was on first, and they wanted to do a hit and run with Aaron Hicks, and Aaron Hicks missed the sign. And Jonah Heim absolutely gunned him at second. And that was it for game 1.
It's about right to hear from Aaron Hicks. No offense to Aaron Hicks.
But the Rangers are just hitting, and their pitching has produced, other than like getting smacked around for 8 runs in game 2, which they won 11-8 still. Other than that, their pitching has been great. Jordan Montgomery, lights out. They're just getting it done in every way possible. They are going to have a little bit of waiting to do. Their next game 1 of the ALCS against to be determined.
They got a little bit of a break, so they've got that advantage for them.
October 15th. Here's what I'll say, though. Is having a break even that much of an advantage?
I was going to say, that's the thing,
though.
Because
all the teams that got buys are getting smacked around right now.
Like that, I was going to say, yeah. From an objective point of view, it is an advantage. You get to rest. You don't have to, worry. Your pitching gets rested up and everything like that. But at the same time, it's not just baseball, but it's basically any sport that you come across, When it comes to the playoffs are all about who's hot, So this break could be something that actually ends up hurting them because their hot streak ends up, fizzling out.
I'm gonna talk about another team that might get swept tonight, and I think there's just a really good chance that it happens. The LA Dodgers have completely laid an egg in their first 2 games against the Diamondbacks. The Snakes are hot. The Snakes are incredibly hot.
Clayton Kershaw getting absolutely floored. Only recorded 1 out before being taken out of the game.
Has an ERA of 167 this postseason.
Yep.
I mean,
Insane.
Corbin Carroll is lighting the world on fire, and their pitching's getting it done too. I mean, Arizona's pitching has come to play 3 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs in their 4 games so far. All on the road too. Now they're coming home tonight in front of what's going to be, I would assume, just an absolutely electric sellout crowd at Chase Field. And the Dodgers have Lance Lynn on the mound. I think it's over. I think the D-backs sweep.
They're sweeping, you think?
I think they're winning tonight. Brandon, I don't know how to. They do have a. Arizona does have a pitcher that's 3-9 with a 5.7 ERA going tonight, but they'll get into the pen. They'll get into the pen. Guys like Miguel Castro and Paul Sewald and company, they'll get some innings, and I think eventually, because I don't know, I think Arizona will light them up this game.
That would undoubtedly probably be the most unexpected thing to happen this postseason is the fact that the Diamondbacks sweep the Dodgers.
I picked the wrong 6 seed to win it all. That's what happened. I thought that the Blue Jays would be this type of team, but
I'm trying to remember. You said for the wild card series you had.
I got all of them wrong.
You got all of them wrong.
I got all of them wrong.
Everyone you had wrong. That's amazing. I want to talk a little bit more about Braves Phillies.
That
It is
the best series so far.
Undoubtedly the best series that we have so far.
So game 1, Phillies weren't messing around. 3-0, came in, shut out the best offense that maybe baseball has ever seen. And it was due to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers. Suarez, 3 2/3, Hoffman a third. And then they had Dominguez, Alvarado, Strom, Kim, all go 1 inning. Normally, the Phillies bullpen is the weakness of their team, but they've been shut down so far. And then game 2, they had it in the bag. They had game 2 in the bag, and they let it slip away. Completely let it slip away. Gave up 5 runs over the last 3 innings against the Braves. And, of course, Michael Harris makes that incredible play to double off.
But Bryce Harper with a rare, very bad mistake. Some are saying it was smart because, he was, trying to be aggressive and get all the way home. But, that situation, you can't go past second base. You get to second, you wait.
Stop there.
If he catches the ball, then you got to book your ass back to first, But if he misses it, then you're still scoring,
Yeah.
The only difference is, are you going to be sliding or standing up, That's the only difference that him going past second made. He was so confident that he wasn't going to make the play, but it's you can't be taking those kinds of risks in that situation, especially in the postseason. And he of all people should know that, especially coming in as, from the wild card series and everything, so he should not have been being that risky. And I think he knows that as well.
Yeah.
My question for you becomes, does this change the trajectory of the series for you?
I mean, here's the thing. Philly, I think, definitely has the better pitching coming down the stretch here. Because if I'm for me, I don't like the pitchers that the Braves are gonna have going. Hold on, I need to actually. They might have Strider pitch game 4. I don't know if they're actually gonna do that. But hold on. So today, Bryce Elder versus Aaron Nola. I would be very confident putting my chips in the Aaron Nola basket in that game. It's at the bank is going to be rocking. Absolutely rocking. I think the Phillies win tonight. And then it says Thursday is Spencer Strider versus undecided for the Phillies. Strider, I don't know. They might be pushing them a little bit, but at the same time, you got to put your best guys out there in what could be an eliminate. It's either going to be an elimination game or a winner or a win and advance game. I don't know. I actually would not be surprised if the Phillies win both these games because it is hard as hell to win at the bank.
It's hard, but I feel like with the end of that game in Atlanta, like that crowd was pumped and that team was fired up. I feel like that game right there, that ending, they were down, but they fought back and they got the win that they really needed. So I feel like that changes the entire trajectory of it. Because at first, when the Phillies getting a win right off the bat on the road, like that is impressive and that's really tough to do. Like you said, especially against the toughest offense probably in the history of the game. And so I feel like that's the confidence boost that Atlanta needed. So I feel like it's going to be. I think Atlanta's going to take it. I really think they do. I feel like.
You think they take both in Philly or?
I think they at least get one in Philly, you know.
I think if they get one in Philly, they're winning Game 5. Yeah. Philly has to win both these games, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, if they win both games, then they win, obviously. But yeah.
Like, I would like Philly really like because if this goes 5 and they have to go back to Atlanta, Philly's not going to win.
It's going to be really, really hard.
So they absolutely have to win these 2 games. I don't know. I get what you're talking about the Braves being piped up, but as soon as the Phillies walk into the bank, they're going to get that same energy.
But like I said earlier, you know, the playoffs are all about who is hot right now. I feel like
you can't base it off of like one game.
I feel like that moment though is going to be the moment where they go right on that hot streak. That's just my prediction. I'm not saying that the Braves are hot right now. I'm just saying like that moment, getting that double play to end the game, getting the crowd fired up, getting themselves fired up, that boosts so much confidence and so much energy in this team. And then they're going to remember, yeah, we got the best bats in the country. We've got the MVP of the year in our lineup right now. We've got some of the best pitching in our rotation. So let's go out and let's go get the win. I think that's going to be the trajectory of this team.
All right. Last series, Twins Astros. So the Twins beat the Blue Jays 3-1 and 2-0 in the wild card round, and then marched into Houston and split the 2 games. They lost 6-4, won 6-2, and then they came back home and got absolutely throttled 9-1. That was a bad game. That was a very bad game.
I'm hoping and praying to God that Minnesota can pull this off.
So the Twins will have a winner go home game Thursday the 12th. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Imagine if every single team in the Final Four.
Actually, no, today they play.
Yeah, today. Later tonight. Imagine if every single team in the Final Four of this postseason all came from the wild card series.
That would mean if that's the case, crazy. They gotta go back to the 5 and give the division win because I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping, but that proves that you don't need the bye. Because I'm telling you, that week off after you've been playing hot sucks.
It does because you're just so eager to play playoff baseball. You're so eager to get on the field, you know. So
we'll see. Tonight's pitching matchup is Jose Urquidy, who's been rough this year, 5.2 ERA, against Joe Ryan, who is the just epitome of average. We'll see. I would not be surprised if Minnesota rises to the occasion and goes back to Houston because they're a team. Despite losing that game, they're still playing some good ball.
It's going to be so tough. Like I can definitely picture them winning, but like you said earlier with Philly, like. It's going to be really tough for them to go back to Houston and win that game 5. It's going to be.
You can't even be thinking about it. They just got to win tonight.
Yeah, you can't be thinking about it because they're one loss away from going home. But at the same time, if they're able to pull it off tonight, it's going to be so tough going back to Houston. It's going to be hard.
We'll see. I'll go out on a limb and say that the Twins win tonight because Jose Urquidy's not a great pitcher and Correa and Royce Lewis have been going off and they'll get the bats will perform tonight. Game 5 though. I don't know about that one. We'll see. Tickets are as low as $47 for Game 5.
$47 for Game 5.
Get for Game 5 in Houston.
Jesus.
Tickets are low as $56 for Game 4 in Arizona if the Dodgers win tonight. We'll see. We will see. We were the baseball club that I'm in. We go to like Culver. We play wiffle ball every Friday and then go to Culver's. We were talking about getting Culver's to spot.
Why have I not known about this? Wiffle ball sounds fucking awesome.
You want to come?
I'll come.
All right. I'm not going to be here this Friday or the next Friday, but
I'll be there.
you should come. You should come. But we go to Culver's afterwards, and we were talking about getting Culver's to sponsor us, to sponsor our club, and have like a Basque day at Culver's. To where we're gonna use the fundraising money to get us to go to the World Series or something like that. I was like, we could get intramural for our intramural softball team. We could get like jerseys and put Culvers on the back, and then they could have our picture in the like with all the other little league teams.
Start a meal. Like get a IU baseball.
I pitched it
meal.
to the guy that's like the president of our club. He goes, "That's a terrific idea. I just cannot see Culver's giving like $500 to a bunch of college kids." He's like, "I just don't see that."
That's
happening.
a great point, though.
He's like, these guys are gonna spend it on booze. Like,
it's a fun
come on.
idea, but at the same time, that's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, but yeah, you should definitely. I'll let you know next time we go. I think they're doing it this Friday, but I'm not going to be there because I'm not
going to be there either.
I'm going home for fall break tomorrow. So, it's time for college football. I want to start off with a fun little segment. It's going to be kind of like it's not really it's kind of a game, but it's not really a game. Hold on, let me bring up the page. Today's game is called Pretender or Contender. Where we will be going down the list of college football teams. And we will be mentioning our opinions on if we think they are a contender for the college football playoff or just acting the part and pretending.
Okay.
So, I'll just pick the most notable teams that are highly ranked.
Okay.
Contender or pretender? The Georgia Bulldogs.
I'd say contender. As much as I've been giving them, they're still a very dominant team.
Yeah, I agree.
They're definitely making it. Yep.
Contender or pretender? The Michigan Wolverines.
Contender. Yep.
I agree. Those two I think are pretty obvious. Those are like the only two that I think everyone can agree on are like true contenders. These next 1, 2, 3 kind of teams, I think you're gonna get some different answers here from if you ask different people.
Yeah.
Contender or pretend? Ohio State.
Everyone knows what I'm gonna say.
You're gonna say pretender.
I want to say pretender, and I also want to remain objective and be like, well, if we actually look at them, but like,
They damn near lost to that Maryland team.
They really did.
They damn
really
near
did.
lost to that Maryland team.
Okay.
I've been telling y'all Maryland. I know they didn't win, but I've been telling y'all Maryland's legit.
Now that we could say with hindsight, we can look back on this event with hindsight as well. The fact that Notre Dame's not making it to the college football playoff anymore. They barely fucking won that game against Notre Dame. They barely won.
They barely beat a 2-loss Notre Dame.
They barely beat Notre Dame on the final drive. They're
getting beat by
such a gritty team, God.
Someone other than
I would have to say pretender is a harsh word, but
I'm gonna say pretender. I just don't think they're that great.
I don't think so either. I'm really curious to see the Penn State game, the Penn State Ohio State game.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? Penn State contender or pretender?
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna probably say contender for Penn State. They've been making noise, They've been taking care of business. They've been getting good wins and everything. I don't like them.
They have Ohio State coming up, and I'll give y'all a kind of interesting thing. So Ohio State is at Purdue next week.
Yep.
And then they play Penn State. Penn State.
I kept thinking Penn State was this week for them, but no.
Here's the thing. Penn State played Northwestern 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. They were on a bye this past week, and they have UMass this week. They're going to be coming into the Ohio State game with preparing all that bye week, preparing all that week against UMass because they don't need to prepare for UMass, and then they're gonna have like 3 weeks prep for Ohio State. I just want everyone to keep that in mind
because that's exactly what they've been doing. They haven't been,
They don't need to prepare for UMass.
No, they're not.
They
like,
probably didn't even
mind.
prepare for Northwestern. They came out flat in that Northwestern game. It was like tied at half, but then they got their shit together.
Obviously, they still need to be careful because that's exactly what Michigan did for the playoff last year. We were like, how do we beat Georgia? How do we beat Georgia? Or how do we beat Ohio State again?
But like, they don't need to be careful.
That came back to bite us.
They don't need to be careful against UMass. They're going to be well prepared.
But personally, I thought we didn't need to be careful against TCU either. But
TCU and UMass are miles apart. But we'll see. If this game,
can't be too careful.
Yeah, if this game was at Penn State, that is a slam dunk win for Penn State. It is at Ohio State, so I don't know if that's a slam dunk win for Penn State, but I'm definitely considering them. Next team on the list, contender or pretender, Florida State.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say they're, well, okay, so can we only have 4 spots? Is that what we're...
No.
Okay, I didn't know if we were... I didn't know if we could only say 4 spots for 4 teams for the playoff and everything. I'm going to say... they've had some scary weeks sometimes. They've had a few close calls.
The one thing is their schedule upcoming is Charmin soft.
Yeah.
I
would say they're a contender, probably.
Syracuse, Duke at home, at Wake Forest, at Pitt, home against Miami, and then North Alabama at Florida. I think they will win the ACC. I don't know if they're as good as some of these other teams, though. I don't think they're as good as Michigan. I don't think they're as good as Georgia. I don't think they're as good as Penn State. I don't know if they're as good as Washington. A lot of that is still to be found out. They're a contender to make the playoff. I think they could definitely just make the playoff and be like one and done, though.
You think they could be one and done?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see when it comes to them.
Yeah. I want to say they're a contender. I think they've definitely got the talent to make it. And like you said, the rest of their schedule isn't like anything to write home about, and that's not a knock against them at all. They've played a lot of tough opponents. They've earned the spot that they're in. No,
they've done their fair share in these early games. They beat Clemson. They beat one at Clemson.
They've done a fantastic
against
job.
LSU.
So I would say they're a contender. It just comes down to like how the rest of the season kind of pans out for them. Watch Florida decide to give one last hurrah in the final rivalry game, and then they beat them. That would be
interesting. All right, here is the new team to the party. They had been flying under the radar all year. I didn't actually pick them. Jackson picked them. I thought they could.
Yes, I did.
But I was like, they have a potential to really jump into that conversation. That is Oklahoma, sitting at 6-0 after a huge win.
Turn the horns down.
Against Texas. Are they a contender or a pretender?
As much as I love Oklahoma for beating Texas, because that was another win for me, I don't want to say they're a pretender, though, is the thing. I don't want to say that because they're a really good team. They obviously have proved it because they beat Texas, Where are they at this week? Who are they playing?
They are home against UCF.
UCF? Okay. Here, let me just pull them up real quick.
Here's their future schedule. They are home against UCF. Then they're at Kansas, at Oklahoma State, home against West Virginia, at BYU, home against TCU. That's pretty favorable.
It is pretty favorable.
The only game I think they might lose is at Oklahoma State, just because they're about to leave for the SEC next year, and Oklahoma State would love nothing more than to get one last jab at them. I just don't think they'll have the talent to do so. I think Oklahoma's a contender. Now, they're probably going to have to rematch Texas for the Big 12 title, though.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough part for them is, like, in order for them to move on, they would have to beat Texas again because Texas isn't just going to go away. Just because they lost this game doesn't mean that they roll over and die. It's only their first loss of the season.
Yeah.
So if they keep winning and they keep coming back, like, they're still going to be a problem. So I'm going to say Oklahoma, I don't like the word, but I'm going to say they're a pretender because
you don't think they'll beat Texas again?
I don't think they're going to be able to beat Texas again. Like, if it comes down to that matchup again,
yeah,
I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
I don't know if they will either. Because okay, next one, I'll say Texas, contender or pretender. I think Texas is still a contender.
All right.
Just because they don't have any more ranked teams on their schedule. They're definitely going to be making it back to the Big 12 title. Unless the only way they don't is if currently Oklahoma and West Virginia are the only Big 12 teams undefeated in conference. West Virginia would have to win out, which I mean maybe, but probably not.
I think Texas is still very much a contender.
Texas will make it back.
I thought it was honestly kind of harsh to kick him that far down. Not that far down, but
I think 9
the
is
fact
fair.
that they went from 3 to 9.
I think that's fair.
I feel like they still should have been, around maybe if they gave them at 6 or 7. I feel like that's better. But the fact that they kicked him all the way down to 9th is that seems a little harsh for a team that everybody was riding so high on this entire year.
I'll do a few more. Next one I got is we're gonna do some Pac-12 teams. Washington, contender or pretender?
That's the thing. I don't even know much about Washington is the thing.
They've just been putting up a bunch of points, but also kind of giving up a lot of points. I know they beat the hell out of Michigan State 41-7.
They
have arguably the best
Michigan
QB
State, though. Let's be honest. I'm sorry, but Michigan State is not a contender this year.
They're for sure not a contender. Michigan State. I think Washington's a contender. I'm
gonna say Washington's a pretender.
You don't think they got what it's? I think they're the best
so.
team in the Big 12. I think they're the best team in the Big 12 from what I've seen.
You think they're better than or the Big 12? Oh, okay.
The Pac-12.
No, I think they're a pretender. They've still got a lot of really tough games coming up. They've got these next 2 games. Arizona State and Stanford. These are the easiest games that they have on the rest of their schedule. The rest of their schedule is going to be really, really tough for them. I feel bad for them, honestly, because they got USC after that. They got Utah, which is still very much a very winnable game for them. They have Oregon State and Washington State. All 3 of those games, very winnable games, but it's the fact that, 4 ranked opponents in a row.
They have 7 games left. 5 are against currently ranked teams.
Yeah. So I'm going to say pretender because I feel like they will eventually.
You think they'll get exposed?
I think they will. I think USC is going to.
Well, they got Oregon this week. That's their first test. I'll say Oregon's kind of in the same boat.
Oh, geez. I didn't even realize that. Yeah. I thought that they had played them before. I was looking at the wrong part of the schedule. But
next one I'll say is Oregon, contender, pretender.
Oregon?
I'm going to say pretender. They're good. I just don't think they have what it takes to compete for the Pac-12. I think they're going to lose to Washington. Sorry, I spoiled my pick at the end of the video. I don't think they'll beat Washington. I think Washington's definitely better. At Utah will be tough. I just don't see them. I think Washington has the potential to get through all those games. I don't think Oregon has the potential to get through all these games.
I'm going to say pretender too. I think they are good. And again, that's not to discredit Washington last time. I still think they're a really good team. I know they're a really good team. I just don't really know much about them, But I would probably have to say the same thing for, I'd have to say the same thing probably about Oregon too.
All right. This next one I feel like is going to get a lot of people either upset or something. I don't know. USC, contender or pretender? I have a really strong opinion on this one.
I don't know how to feel about this team at all. I think I want to play it safe and still say that they're a contender, but it's just the fact that they damn near threw away that Arizona game. Was it triple overtime?
Yeah, I think so.
Triple overtime?
Triple or double.
Oh, God, why am I... No, I shouldn't do it. I should say they're pretenders.
I think this is the biggest pretender on this list.
You think USC
I think
is?
they are acting the part. They are not a very good team.
You know what?
I'm sorry. They're just not. They're just not. Every Lincoln Riley coach team, basically ever, has had one of the best offenses, can't stop a tumbleweed. Can't stop a tumbleweed.
That is fair. The defense is a huge problem for them.
They are a ticking time bomb. That is what they are. They haven't played any ranked teams yet. They've given up 41 points each of their last 2 weeks. And of their last 6 games, 5 are against currently ranked teams. They are getting at least 2 losses.
I don't know
at least 2 losses.
I don't know.
At Notre Dame, home against Utah, at Cal, that's a win. Home against Washington, at Oregon, home against UCLA.
As much as we've been making fun of Notre Dame, it is still going to be really tough to beat them. Like, they know that they're not.
I'm not so sure Notre Dame hasn't looked better than USC this year. I'm not even kidding.
Like,
USC's been giving up 40 points to teams that aren't good.
It's still going to be a really tough game against Notre Dame because they're on the road and everything, you know. Like, obviously, like I said earlier, Notre Dame's not just going to keel over and die because they're not in the playoffs anymore.
No, they'll come out and fight.
They'll still come out and try and make some noise and everything, but
like, this is an Arizona team that lost to Mississippi State. Like, this is not a good Arizona team.
I think you
and
may
they
have
took
just
them to
convinced
triple
me,
OT, and they won by 2.
I think you may have just actually convinced me. Like, just the fact that Arizona took them to triple overtime. Colorado still scored 41 points off of them. That's not shots. That's not shots at Colorado or anything.
The
but
second they play like any way decent defense, and like if they play a team with like a decent if they play a team that either can couple a great offense with a decent defense or a great defense with a decent offense, I don't think they win because they have an awful defense.
I think you just convinced me, actually.
Notre Dame, I don't know if they're going to beat Notre Dame. I'll make my pick later. I'm still undecided on this game.
It makes me go back to Washington now. It's like, should I have made them a contender now? Because it's like...
Washington, I feel like Washington's defense isn't great, but it's a whole hell of a lot better than USC.
Yeah.
USC they will get exposed eventually.
I mean, Caleb Williams is that entire USC team, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even the offense. Like, he'll make miracles happen for that team. And that's what happened with the Arizona game.
Pretty much. All right, I'm going to just do a few kind of quick ones. Alabama, contender, pretender.
Pretender.
You think?
Yeah.
I tend to agree. They had to fight and claw their way against that A&M game. I just don't think they have it. Even if they make the SEC title, I think they lose to Georgia.
And I remember at the beginning of the season, I had them in the top 4, I think, right?
North Carolina is currently undefeated with a pretty favorable schedule ahead of them. Their schedule the rest of the way, Miami, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Campbell, Duke, Clemson, NC State. An undefeated UNC could beat an undefeated Florida State in the ACC title.
I don't know.
With that being said, I don't think they're a true contender when it comes to the playoff. Maybe. I think they have the potential to be so, but I'm going to just say pretender.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to say pretender just because, like, the close games have been like, whoa. For them, you know, almost losing to App State in week 2 is like, what are we doing?
Last one, Louisville. Contender, they're 6-0. They're ranked 14.
I don't want to say that they're a contender because I personally think Notre Dame's a pretender. And obviously they beat Notre Dame. So it's like, I don't know what to...
You know what I just realized?
What?
Florida State's remaining schedule. They don't play UNC or Louisville. UNC's remaining schedule, they don't play Louisville or Florida State. Louisville's remaining schedule, they don't play UNC or Florida State. They could all end undefeated.
They could, yeah.
What do they do if all 3 of them end undefeated?
But at the same time, you know, they're still going up a tough Duke team because they've only got one loss, right? Duke?
Yeah, Duke has to play all 3 of them.
Yeah, Duke is going to have a tough road ahead of them. But
and 2 of those are road games. Duke has at Florida State, at Louisville. Actually, all of them are road games. They're at UNC too.
Duke still wants to prove that they are a very talented team, even though they've proven that this year. They've proven that.
But they got to play the top 3 all on the road.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's really rough. Is it just going to come down to which one of these teams loses to Duke?
That'd be the funfunniest way for that to decide it.
Like,
it all comes down to the Duke Blue Devils.
That might be what happens when it comes to, because if 2 of those teams, because you think all 3 of those teams are currently undefeated, all 3 have very favorable schedules the rest of the way. Because the biggest pretender of them all is Miami. Did you catch the end of that Miami Georgia Tech game? Did you catch the end of that game?
The end of the Miami game?
The end of the Miami Georgia Tech game.
I did not know.
Okay. Oh, I can't believe you didn't see this. Miami had the ball with 30 seconds left. Georgia Tech had no timeouts.
Oh, no, I did see this. Yes, I did see this. I did. Yeah, he should have taken the knee.
And they didn't kneel the ball. Georgia Tech gets it back. They get a touchdown.
The commentators were going crazy. Oh, nope, didn't mean to hit that one. Sorry. But, the commentators were going crazy. They were like, what are they doing? Just kneel the ball.
Mario Cristobal masterclass. Miami is every year Miami is always a pretender. Always a pretender.
That was crazy. I don't understand.
The fact that they're even still ranked 25 is just beyond me.
I think part of that reason is just like, okay, it was a really, really dumb decision, but it's still a good team in the end. A team
is only as good as their coach's common sense.
Yeah, their coach is just like,
what
are we doing?
They got at Florida State on the schedule. They got at UNC on the schedule. They still have Louisville on this. They still have Clemson on. It's going to be rough for Miami. They were the biggest pretender, I've told everybody. But yeah. All right, that'll end this episode of Contender or Pretender. Now we got 19 minutes to make some picks. Last week, both of us went 18-8. We split the picks every single time a team that I could never get a game
You were convinced last week
that
you were taking the lead. I
thought I was. Dude, Colorado State sold me, bro. I had a chance to go up a game. I was already up a game. And then if Colorado State would have won, I would have been up 2 games. And oh my God, they got mauled by Utah State. That was my chance. But I didn't lose any games. We're both still tied. Jackson is 105-31. I am 103-33. So Jackson keeps his 2-game lead going into
hell yeah, brother.
Going into week 7. So let's look at the slate. We got 2 Friday games. First one is Tulane at Memphis.
Let me pull this up real quick.
I gotta look at spreads too.
All right, Friday matchup: Tulane and Memphis. Oh Lord. I mean,
Tulane's favored by 4.5 on the road. That's going to be my pick. They're still really good from last year. They haven't even lost since that Ole Miss game. I think they're going to come back and be a contender for that New Year's Six Bowl, like the New Year's Six Bowl participant for the Group of 5, because that's what they were last year. And they beat USC, so I got Tulane.
I think I'll take Memphis for this one. Home game for them. They're still doing really well, you know. They've only got 1 loss against Mizzou. Well, shit, against Mizzou.
Oh, yeah, Missouri was proven to be a pretender. They lost to LSU.
All right, I'm going to convert. I'm sorry. Taking Tulane. Sorry.
All right. Next up, Stanford at Colorado.
What's Stanford like right now? Yeah, no, Colorado.
All right. There are kind of some easy games out here. Georgia at Vandy.
Georgia.
I think easily. All right. Next, our beloved Indiana Hoosiers travel up to Michigan to play the Michigan Wolverines. Number 2. Michigan is favored by 33.5. I looked earlier today. They're favored by 33.5.
If Indiana pulls off this win, I will quit this podcast.
No, I'm
dropping you guys from my US TV.
You have to come for the celebration episode, then you can leave. No, they're not winning. They're just not
yeah,
winning.
give me Michigan. But yeah,
I
if Indiana is able to pull this off, like that's the cool part about this though. Like I have a dog in this fight. You know, I have 2 dogs in this fight, I should say.
Yeah.
But
Ohio
I'm not.
State at Purdue.
give me Ohio State.
Purdue doesn't have a Rondell Moore.
Nah.
That's how they beat them that one time, but
It'd be cool if they were able to take this win.
yeah, but they got embarrassed by Iowa. I don't think it's happening. Syracuse at Florida State.
Florida State for this one.
I agree. Syracuse looked really good because they had actually beaten Purdue, but then they kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
Arkansas at Alabama. Arkansas is 2-4.
But they're on a 4-game losing streak.
4-game losing streak, all by less than 10 points.
I'm gonna still go with Alabama for this one. I would love it if Arkansas could win.
I feel bad for Arkansas. They were ranked in the top 10 last year, and then lost to Liberty, and they just haven't been the same. This is a team, this is a fan base that endured such bad teams for a while. They finally got good, and then they just can't win against a big team.
Yeah,
I'd feel bad for them.
It's gonna keep going for them. I'm gonna take Alabama.
Cal at Utah is the next game.
Oh Lord, wait, did you just make a giant jump?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. They're not all in order.
At Utah, you said?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not all the games are in order.
Okay. I'm gonna take Utah, but let me just double check Cal. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take Utah.
Cal's just not any good. They'll have fun. They'll have fun in the ACC.
That'll be a good time
against all the other very mid teams. That's so crazy that Cal is going to be in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Come on, man. At least rename your conference if you're going to do that.
That's the thing. It's
the Atlantic Coast Conference is featuring Cal Berkeley, and Stanford, and for some reason SMU. That was the most random addition I think I've ever seen. I get it. Cal and Stanford are kind of big schools that need a home, and that's and SMU's coming.
I was gonna say, I feel like that was part of a deal where some avid SMU fan was just hey, no, we need them in there too. It's okay.
They don't have Eric Dickerson anymore.
All right.
They won a national title and then got their program taken away for cheating, but then they got it back. We'll see. Next, Texas A&M at Tennessee. Tennessee needs to win some games if they want to get to the they got to basically almost win out if they want to make it back to the SEC title, because that was the goal at this despite how far-fetched of a goal that may have seemed to some. The goal for Tennessee was to get back to the SEC title and beat Georgia.
I'm going to take Tennessee. Yeah, the rest of the road for them is going to be really, really tough if they even want a chance to get back into the SEC championship.
They're at Bama next. I don't know. I do think they'll. Wait, who'd you pick? Did you pick Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. I think they will beat A&M because A&M's just not that great. Sorry, they're just not. We'll see. They got to beat Bama. If they beat Bama, then that Georgia game is going to be to go to the SEC title.
Oh yeah.
I think. I don't know if they have anyone else hard other than Bama before. At Kentucky, ooh. Yeah, they got to beat Bama and Kentucky, and then they got UConn and Missouri. They'll win those games, and then they got Georgia. They just have to not lose before they play Georgia. Oh man, I really hope. I want to go to that. I want to go to that game if Tennessee has a chance to go to the SEC title. Tennessee goes into that game with a chance to go to the SEC title. I'm finding a way to go to that game. I don't give a shit. We'll see though. We'll see. Next game is BYU at TCU. BYU sitting at 4-1. Only lost to Kansas. TCU's 3-3. They've kind of been floundering.
Yeah, TCU. Feel bad for you.
I said they would be back. They're not going to be back.
God, they lost to Iowa State though. Man, damn.
I'm going to take BYU.
I think I'm going to join you on that one. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just they just haven't looked great. All right, next, in a game that might end 3-0, Wisconsin and Iowa. I've been looking at some Iowa offensive stats. Did you know that they're
No, it's at Wisconsin, right?
Yeah. Did I say at Iowa?
Yeah, you said at
My
Iowa.
bad.
No, you could.
Iowa has a putrid offense. Cade McNamara hasn't done a damn thing for that offense.
Well, he's hurt now. So
Yeah.
he's been I think he missed last week because he had like a broken
They're
collarbone or
still
something.
5-1 though, just because their defense is so good. But I'm going to take Wisconsin because
I'm taking Wisconsin too.
It's a home game. All right, Louisville, the undefeated Louisville Cardinals, are at Pitt. I would say this could be an upset alert and like a hangover game if Pitt was
just so
if
bad.
Pitt was any good at football.
Pitt is so bad.
Pitt is 1-4. 1-4. Louisville big.
Big time.
All right. Next, Kansas at Oklahoma State.
Kansas at Oklahoma State. What's Oklahoma State like? They're 3-2.
They've just been very average, which for Oklahoma
Yeah.
State standards is below average.
I think I'm still gonna take Kansas, but I think it could be close. Though.
I'm really like 50-50 on this game because it is still a home game for Oklahoma State.
It is, yeah. But with Kansas's experience so far this year, excuse me.
I'm gonna take Oklahoma State. It's a home game. Oklahoma State they did just beat Kansas State.
You're taking Oklahoma State? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take Oklahoma State.
All right.
Next, Auburn at LSU.
Here, let me find it.
I think LSU will win. Auburn is just not good.
They're 3-2. You know, they've lost to Texas A&M. But they only lost to Georgia though too. I mean, against LSU though, I mean LSU isn't great either. Is the thing. Hang on. What's LSU sitting at? 4-2. Yeah, 4-2. I think I'm gonna go with. Let's go with Auburn. Let's make it interesting.
All right. That is a very interesting upset pick. If it was at home, I would think about it, but this is at OSU. I don't think it's happening. All right, next, Kansas State at Texas Tech.
Kansas State at Texas Tech. God, Kansas State is
Texas Tech just got brutalized by Baylor. 39-14. I am taking Kansas State.
It's at Texas Tech though.
Yeah.
What's Texas Tech's record? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Kansas State then.
All right. Oh, I accidentally kept Notre Dame Louisville on here. Oh, we got to find another game. Hold on. What's like a random... I forgot to change one of the games. Notre Dame Louisville still on here from last week. What is the most random game we could find? I want to find like two evenly matched teams. Let's find two bad teams. Let's find two really bad teams.
Temple at North Texas.
Oh, yeah. Temple's 2-4. North Texas is 2-3. It's at North Texas. Who you got? What's the spread?
What is the spread on that one?
I just had it. I clicked off because I'm typing it on the board.
North Texas is slated to win on ESPN by 62. They're voted 62% likely.
Okay. North Texas is favored by 6. What's Temple been up to? The fact that we're actually like diving into this game because we don't want to like lose a game. North Texas has been putting up some points. I'll take them.
I'll do the opposite. I'll do North Texas. We'll make it interesting.
You mean Temple?
North Texas has been putting up points, you said.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking North Texas.
North Texas has scored 21, 39, 40, 37. They don't have a defense, but they could score. So I'm taking...
So can Temple, though. Temple's been... Or no, wait, no, those are
Temple
losses. Those are losses. Never mind. I'm gonna do North Texas. I'm sorry.
Oh, I put it in the wrong slot. Hold on. Hold on. So wait, sorry.
I'll also do North Texas. Yeah.
All right. Next one, real quick. Iowa State, Cincinnati at Cincinnati.
Hang on. Sorry. How's Cincinnati been? 2-3, not great. Lost to Oklahoma. I know Iowa State isn't good either, though. Has Iowa State been like 3-3? Let's go with God. Let's go with Cincinnati.
I don't know. I'll be different. I'll take Iowa State. Cincinnati is just they lost to Miami of Ohio. I can't pick a team that lost to Miami of Ohio. All right.
That was close.
These are actually two really good group of 5 teams, these next 2 teams.
Okay.
Georgia Southern at James Madison.
Oh Lord.
Georgia Southern beat Ball State 40-3.
What about James Madison? They're
James
undefeated.
Madison's 5-0. I'm gonna take James Madison because they're undefeated.
I'm gonna do the same.
Okay. Next, this next game features the worst team in all of FBS. The worst team in all of FBS. UNLV at Nevada. 0-5 Nevada. I think they're the only winless team.
Oh, damn. Give me UNLV.
UNLV, I don't know how well they did. I know they played Michigan, so.
They lost 35-7, but ever since then, they've been averaging 40 points, basically.
Yeah, UNLV will win. All right, next. This is, I think, a really hard-to-pick game. The incredibly hot Wyoming Cowboys are at Air Force. I actually looked at the spread for this because I was curious. Air Force is favored by 10.5.
Air Force is favored?
Air Force is 5-0. Although they haven't really beaten anyone good. But they run the triple option. It's hard to defend.
I think I'm going to still do Wyoming. I want to do Wyoming.
See, I love Wyoming. I'm a big Wyoming. So me and my friend are kind of like, he took a visit to Wyoming and he made me like an honorary Wyoming fan just because. I think Air Force wins, though. They run the option. It's going to be hard to defend. They run it to a T.
You put Air Force, you said?
I'm going to take Air Force.
Okay.
Next, Miami at North Carolina. I'm just going to get it out of the way. Miami's getting embarrassed.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Drake May is lighting them up. You can't recover from losing a game like that. You just can't. Missouri at Kentucky.
I mean, Missouri.
I'm going to take Kentucky.
Taking Kentucky?
Yeah.
I might have to do. Well, God. Yeah, I'm going to do Kentucky.
All right. UCLA at Oregon State.
So, yeah.
That'll be a really good game.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Both these teams got to win to keep Pac-12 hopes alive because they already have one loss. The only undefeated Pac-12 teams still left are Oregon, Washington, USC.
I might do UCLA for this one. I think they can pull it off on the road.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Lastly, before the 2 featured games, NC State at Duke.
Who'd you take?
Oh, I took Oregon State.
You took Oregon State.
Did I forget to say it?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Oregon State.
NC State, you said at Duke?
Yeah. I'm taking Duke.
Yeah, give me Duke.
All right. 2 featured games. These 2 are, I think, incredibly hard to pick. First one, number 10 USC at Notre Dame. Here's the one. What's making me kind of want to pick Notre Dame is because they have a good defense. They like, say what you want about like Marcus Ferrer. They have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't really play that well against like Louisville
up until the final 10 seconds of the Ohio State game.
If they can hold USC like under 35, they're gonna have a really good shot to win. Because Sam Hartman, I think, could definitely put some points up on USC.
I might have to agree with you. I think.
Will it be enough though?
I mean, like I said earlier, USC's entire team is Caleb Williams. You know, their defense is not good.
Also, this though, Notre Dame scored 14 points in their big game against Ohio State. They scored 21 off of like a last-second drive against Duke, and they scored 20 against Louisville. So, like, is their offense that great to even keep up with USC? I don't know.
I think they'll be able to, as long as their defense remains hot and keeps Caleb Williams under pressure. I think they can pull it off.
See, now I'm starting. So you're picking Notre Dame?
I think so.
See, They did just give up 33 to Jack Plummer in Louisville. That was a road game, though.
But at the same time, though, I don't know if there's going to be as many fans there now that they can't make the playoffs.
I think it'll still be a sellout.
You think it will?
I think it will. I think I'm going to take USC. As much as I said they were a pretender, they're still going to just be able to score. I
think I'll do Notre Dame still.
I'm going to take USC. That's a tough pick for me.
We differed a lot this week. We did last week, too.
Not as much as last week. I think last week we did more. So I'm going to take USC. I don't know if I like that pick, but I'm still going to do it, even after all this shit I talked about USC. Lastly, big Pacific Northwest matchup. Huge rivalry game. Two top 10 teams, Oregon at Washington. Michael Penix versus Bo Nix. Going to be a lot of points. Who comes away with it?
I'm almost tempted to just say, whatever you pick, I'll pick the opposite for this week. But
okay, so if you're giving me first crack, I am taking Washington. That crowd can get incredibly loud because they have that roof like the Seahawks do that reflects the noise back. That place could get incredibly loud. Top 10 matchup, they're going to be rocking. Washington wins by at least 2 scores.
At least 2 scores?
At least 2 scores.
I think I'll go with Oregon then. It's going to be really tough for them, but I think I can definitely see them pulling off the win, improving their worth, and proving themselves to the committee and to everybody.
Yeah, this is very similar to your Oklahoma pick.
It was.
Last week.
Yeah.
And I don't even hate the pick, but I think Washington's going to win. So we differed on the 2 biggest games. I'm really excited to watch those two. It's
going to be a really good game.
Those
I'm
two are
excited
going to be.
it.
Those 2 games are going to be really, really good. There is someone that films at 4 after me, so I got to get the hell out of here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Producer Jackson, any final words?
Yeah, just check out all the other iOS TV shows. Keep supporting all those shows. We've got a record number of shows this year for iOS TV. Check those out. Check out news, sports. Check out, all of our platforms. Check out iOS TV Entertainment. Check out all their shows. Keep supporting everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care, everyone. Oh, damn it.